All right, Shalom. Before I get started with this live lesson, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone who taught me this truth. Double salutations to all you Akim out the labor in the house of David, the elect. It's pushing this word with all truth, righteousness, and sincerity. Shalom to you, brothers, and shalom to the elect. To the elect. I'm back with another live lesson through the Holy Spirit, the Rakakwadash. All right, just real quick. I just wanted to, just grab some scriptures based off this article here. All right, because pretty much as we've been warning you day in and day out, all right, they're getting ready to roll out this beast system. All right, as you see on the screen, the beast system and what it entails. All right, it's part of the one world government, one world religion, artificial intelligence, ruled this system being ruled over by AI. Okay, digital currency, which involves the mark of the beast, the CHIP, social credit scores, food rationing, 15-minute cities, transhumanism, merging man with machine, all those various things. So with that being said, I want to just go ahead and jump into this video because we see it coming, as the scriptures say. Let's get one scripture real quick. Excuse me. Let's go to Proverbs. It's Proverbs 22. Proverbs 22 and verse 3, and it reads, it says, a prudent man foreseeth the evil. All right, a man of wisdom, a man that's operating in the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. All right, you should be able to see this thing coming. All right, it says, a prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself, but the simple pass on and are punished, man. And there's going to be a lot of people caught out there, all right, as they mandate this technology, if you will. All right. So with that being said, let's just get into it real quick. It's kind of caught my eye, right? So let me pull that up. We're going to let the video play and we'll grab a couple of scriptures and wrap it up. Okay, so the header here from this article that came out yesterday, it's from CNBC. It says how Trump's mass deportation plan can use AI to extend immigration crackdown. Now check this out. Okay, let's go into the video here.
Just because work.
Let's let this ad pass. Bear with me.
Fox, the Department of Homeland Security unveiling a set of recommendations for the safe development and deployment. Welcome back to Squawk Box. The Department of Homeland Security unveiling a set of recommendations for the safe development and deployment of artificial intelligence in America's infrastructure. The framework was developed with the help from the newly established Artificial Intelligence Safety and Security Board. It was chaired by the Secretary of Homeland Security and populated with some of the top CEOs in business, including OpenAI's Sam Altman, Microsoft's Satya Nadella, NVIDIA's Jensen Huang. Joining us right now, first on CNBC, is Secretary of Homeland Security, Alexandria Mayorkas. Good morning to you, Mr. Secretary. Thank you for joining us. It's a fascinating effort to try to regulate or at least put some guidelines around where AI is going. At the same time, of course, this is the end of this administration. And so I sort of have a double-barreled question, which is to say, what is the significance of this and where you see this going? But also, what is the significance of this in the context that a new administration is coming into office in January?
Andrew, thanks so much for having me. So let me be clear that these are voluntary guidelines. They are not regulations. In fact, if companies throughout the AI ecosystem adopt and implement these voluntary guidelines, we can ward off precipitous regulation or legislation that can stifle America's leadership and innovation. The guidelines are groundbreaking in two different regards. Number one, and one you referenced at the outset, is the breadth of membership of the AI Safety and Security Board. We have brought in not only cloud and compute infrastructure providers, AI model developers, the companies that own and operate critical infrastructure, but we've also brought in civil society and the public sector. It's a remarkable expanse of participants on this board, number one. And number two, it sets forth a model of shared and separate responsibilities. Everyone in the AI ecosystem has a role to play and has responsibilities to assume and execute to ensure the safe and secure deployment of AI in critical infrastructure,
So
which is our water, our energy.
Speak to the big details, though, of what these guidelines look like. There's been lots of questions about sort of these various roles, you know, a large language model that's closed, like an OpenAI version, versus you know, an open model that almost anybody can get, but then it appears from the guidelines that some of the cloud providers where these things would sit would also have some of their own guidelines around these things. How would it work?
So this is really an overarching architecture that we hope companies throughout will adopt and implement, and each one has its role to play, and we identify the different responsibilities. If it's a cloud and compute infrastructure provider, making sure that there's the access to that infrastructure is safe and secure. So it's not, in essence, polluted. The model developers in making sure there's data integrity. The critical infrastructure operators making sure that they're testing the systems before deploying, because the consequences can be incredibly advantageous on the one hand, but the risks are real on the other.
And I'm going to say this because this is the system here, man. All right, as we've been warning you about, they're putting everything in place. The prophecies are moving extremely fast. All right, so once again, there's no denying this thing. All right, real quick, straight to the point, Ezekiel 12. All right, because as we read yesterday in that quote from Isaac Newton, all right, he said a body of men would be raised up in the last days, which will turn the attention to the prophecies, right? So how spiritual is that, right? Ezekiel 12 and verse 25, all right? Get straight to the point. Ezekiel 12 and verse 25, and it reads, it says, "For I am the Lord, Yahweh Shem Shai, I will speak, and the word that I shall speak shall come to pass, and it shall be no more prolonged. For in your days," it's talking about these days now, all right, these last days that we're living in, "and it should be no more prolonged, for in your days, O rebellious house, will I say the word and will perform it, save the Lord power, Yahweh Shem Shai." Verse 26, again, the word of the Lord, Yahweh Shem Shai, came to me, saying, "Son of man, behold, they of the house of Israel say, the vision that he seeth is for many days to come, and he prophesieth of the times that are far off." The point, verse 28, it says, "Therefore say unto them, thus saith the Lord power, Yahweh Shem Shai, there shall none of my words be prolonged any more, but the word which I have spoken shall be done, saith the Lord Yahweh Shem Shai." So this is happening, Jake. All right. The AI is going to be part of the US infrastructure. All right. This is the new system that they're rolling out. All right. They're getting the staff in place, the technicians, the computing staff, everybody that's a part of making this basically making this beast come to life, if you will. Right. So let's finish it off. All right. So these things are very close. This C-HIP is very close, man. All right. Things are being activated. Right. Let's finish it out.
regulations that's going to advance.
Salakia, I didn't even have it in the screen. My bad. Let me go back. Salakia. I thought I had shared the screen. Let's go back. Salakia.
Data integrity, the critical infrastructure operators making sure that they're testing the systems before deploying, because the consequences can be incredibly advantageous on the one hand, but the risks are real on the other. So those are some simple examples.
What do you think this looks like as there is a transition? I recognize these are only guidelines, but to the extent a new administration comes in, potentially with either new, different, or other alternative priorities, where do you think this lands?
Well, it is our hope, and the members of the board are committed to it, is our hope that companies and organizations throughout the ecosystem adopt and implement these guidelines. It's going to advance the safety and security of the entire enterprise. This is not a regulatory regime, and it's not a legislative regime. It is a voluntary framework, and we hope that it's really accepted and adopted throughout. It will also critically drive harmonization. What we can't have, companies suffer so much if there's a patchwork of regulations that control them, and it's so difficult to comply with sometimes regulations that are either in tension with one another or sometimes directly conflict. We're hoping this adoption and implementation is not only domestic, but international as well.
Mr. Secretary, while we have you here, we've seen the results of the.
Yeah, because this thing is going to be, this system is going to be worldwide, man. Right? Not only in America, it's going to be all over the world, and all nations are on board to adopt this particular system. All right.
The election, et cetera, and the border, and it became such a flashpoint and such a front and center issue. And one of the questions to Vice President Harris was, would you have done anything differently? And I don't know whether that affected the outcome, but just in a word, I know that you serve at the whatever the president asks you to do is the way that you serve. But do you think that there should have been anything done differently over the past 4 years at the border? Do you think things could have, the election outcome could have been different? Anything that you would have done as an individual differently?
Well, Joe, I'm not going to speculate about electoral outcomes, but I can tell you this, that the model that we have in place now have driven the number of encounters at the southern border down below 2019 levels, the last year before the pandemic struck our country and the world. We're facing an unprecedented level of displacement of people around the world. We have actually built an architecture now that is proving tremendously successful.
Right. It was more recent than I think some of the damage had already been done, Mr. Secretary, just with all due respect. Did anything prior to that, like from the inception of the administration, that it could have been done differently? That it was something that a lot of people just, I mean, it became a major flashpoint in people's thinking for the election.
No question. It did, Joe. And remember where we were. Remember where we were up through May of 2023. Everyone across the aisle was really supporting the continuation of Title 42, the public health order, not an immigration measure, but a public health order, because we were still climbing out of the pandemic more rapidly than any country in the hemisphere, but nevertheless still encountering it. So remember what the push was until May of 2023. And then what the administration did was correctly push for more funding for the Department of Homeland Security, as well as the only enduring solution, which is legislation to fix a broken system.
Mr. Secretary, we're out of time. How do you like Governor Kristi Noem, your potential successor?
I am going to focus on a smooth transition and ensure that she, if she is indeed confirmed, has an understanding of the challenges we face and a good understanding and grip on the tools and capabilities we've built to meet those challenges.
Okay, we're out of time. It's a longer conversation. I hope we get to continue to have it with you. Secretary, thank you.
All right, so you get it. Hey, the transition is happening. All right, they're getting ready to push this thing. All right, and Trump, you know, it looks like he could be the guy that's really gonna bring this thing to pass. All right. So anyway, this video we were just watching. This is from once again CNBC. how Trump's mass deportation plan can use AI to extend immigration crackdown. All right. So everything we saw in the video is them, getting the people in place to run it. All right. To, like he said, to pretty much fix a broken system. Right. But it says the key points. So we'll just read that. I'm not going to read the rest of the article. You can read this on your own, but just these key points. It says the Department of Homeland Security allocated $5 million in its 2025 budget to open an AI office, and DHS Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas has called AI a transformative technology. All right. It says AI-aided surveillance towers, robo-dogs, and facial recognition tools are all currently being used in Homeland Security in some capacity. See that? That's the system as we saw. All right. That's all part of the B system. All right. It says, finishing it out here, it says AI-aided surveillance towers, robo-dogs, and facial recognition tools are all currently being used in Homeland Security in some capacity and could be ramped up even further in mass deportation plan floated by President-elect Donald Trump. All right, so Trump is going to be the guy to push it, right? It says, however, experts worry that the increased use of AI by the Department of Homeland Security could lead to privacy and due process violations, and that's exactly what it is, because it's a form of this system is a form of oppression. All right, this is how he's going to attempt to rule the world under AI. All right, under Satan. All right, by having everybody, seat him. Okay, where you're constantly monitored and watched and controlled of what you can buy and sell, what you can do, how you can move around. All right, like I said before, it's going to be hell on earth. All right, once they implement this thing, you see that. So the point is that this thing is close. All right, closer than what we realize, man. All right, and we're going to continue to warn you as this thing continues to come to pass, as they when they get to the point of actually mandating this thing. All right, but this is the system. This is the beast system. All right, this is Revelation, Revelation 13. Okay. Revelation 13 and starting at verse 14 here. All right, this is Revelation 13, verse 14. It says, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast which had the wound by a sword and did live. So right now, in this time of the end, all right, we're seeing the image of the beast come to pass, a system that's being presented, man. All right, it's basically a modernized, system of slavery that's coming to pass. All right, which he's going to use this technology to enslave everybody. All right, that's what it's all about. That's why we read at the end of that article. What did it say? In the key points, it says that last part. It says, however, experts worry that increased use of AI by the DHS could lead to privacy and due process violations. You see that? So anyway, verse 15. All right, it says Revelation 13 and verse 15, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, and that's what's speaking right now. All right, that the image of the beast should speak. Okay, which we saw in that 7-minute video, how they got everything in place. They're ready to make this transition. You see, the prophecy is speaking. Though it tarry, wait for it, it shall surely come. It shall not tarry, man. So we see it. It says that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. Right, because in that time, those that go against the system, right? Let's go back to the image here. All right, those that go against the system, that don't comply, all right, you're going to be killed. You're going to be pretty much removed from society. You know, you're going to be ostracized, you know. So this is what's coming. All right. It says back in Revelation 13 and 16, it says, and he caused of all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. That word mark in the Greek, it goes back to charagma, right? And this is going to be a physical mark that's going to go inside the body, all right? That sihab. And that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name, all right? So bottom line is that in this society to come, you're not going to be able to buy and sell, all right, without that, without having that charagma, man, without being a part of that beast system. All right. So we see this thing coming from a mile away, and we're going to continue to warn you about this thing, man. All right. This thing is speaking loud and clear. You see, we'll finish out with this once again. There's no denying this thing.
Just think of the power of the combination of artificial intelligence, quantum computing, and big data. So it's a combination of the different technologies which really bring the fundamental change. And finally, I think we have to be prepared for a world where we see a fusion of our physical, our digital, and our biological dimensions. So it will be a world integrating the physical, biological, and the digital dimensions. So it will be a new world. And I'm looking for a minister in 10 years. Probably it will be completely different from what it is now.
Boom. So what more can we say, man? It's getting ready to go down. All right. So I just wanted to bring out this quick lesson. I pray that you were edified, man. All right. The system is in place and they're getting ready to roll it out. All right. So I'm going to close out by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahasham Yahushai, Bahasham Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone who taught me this truth. And double salutations to all you Akim the laboring, the house of David, the elect, that's pushing this word with all truth, righteousness, and sincerity. Shalom to you, brothers, and shalom to the elect. Shalom.